My name's Josh Krichefski. I'm the Chief Operating Officer for Mediacom in the UK. My key challenges are all of the challenges that we just discussed in that last presentation. It almost feels like that was the presentation I should be giving, actually. No. But I'm very focused on future-proofing Mediacom as an agency for the future. And I'm going to talk to you today about mobile. I'm not going to sit here and predict the future of mobile, because I can't do that, but the future is very much now. I think there's a lot of very exciting stuff happening in mobile today, so I thought I'd talk about that today. Just because it's the year of mobile, as we seem to be saying every year, I'd rather not get wrapped up in the technology behind it, A, because I know nothing about it, because I'm not a techie guy, but B, because I think it's important that we focus on, we're talking about advertising, the future of advertising and marketing here, so business challenges, marketing challenges, consumer challenges and needs should be the source of everything that we do in our marketing, and mobile is no exception to that. So I will talk to you about various different opportunities within mobile today, but they should all be rooted to consumer needs and business challenges. Notwithstanding that, mobile has a very important role in the purchase journey now. This is a figure that I got from you guys. I hope I got it right. But mobile's got a very important role to play at every stage of the purchase funnel. We've also done some research at Mediacom, something called Real World Britain, where we have a load of video bloggers around the country across different audience sets who we set tasks, and they come back to us and chat on video about how they found those tasks. I haven't got time, I've only got 10 minutes, so I can't show you any of those videos today. But some of the videos have pulled out some quite interesting insights. So one of them being that 22% bought via mobile recently. Mobile is making impulse shopping much easier. So 15% bought on impulse. 14% bought whilst drunk, so alcohol helps that along the line. And these are actually some of the things that they talked about buying, so I don't think there's any surprises there with music at the bottom. Expensive shoes, there's no prizes for guessing who said that. But a running machine I thought was quite an interesting one. I don't know whether that was done on New Year's Eve. Now we had a conference at Mediacom recently, which was about Real World Britain and some of the insights that we pulled out. And we actually had the joy of having Lord Sugar come and talk at the conference. And one of the things that he said was, mobile advertising is rubbish. It's tiny real estate, you can't see anything, it's a load of rubbish, it won't last. Which is, I mean, he basically said that about advertising as a whole anyway, but he said it about mobile. And Krista actually asked me the same question, which is it possible to be, is it got a real future from a creative perspective? And I think the point that needs to be made is that mobile advertising is not about the real estate of a banner on a small screen. It's about what is enabled through a mobile phone. And so to be successful in what you do in mobile communications, you need to harness what the mobile phone brings with it. And it brings so many different types of things, from messaging to the ability to publish content, the fact that you can see where somebody is, where they're walking to, and how fast they're going. It's very useful. The ability to have visual display, audio, to be able to play things, to be able to capture data and use it again. And those are things you need to harness, and those all come behind the creative unit. You also need to harness creativity. So this is an example of that. This is a campaign that we did for the launch of American Pie Reunion. So yes, it was a small banner format that was the ad placement, but behind that you were able to harness all the different attributes of the phone. So for example, you'll be able to put the launch weekend into your iCal. You're able to watch the trailer inside the advertising format, inside the placement. You're able to go straight to the Facebook page of American Pie through the creative format. You're able to overlay a photo of yourself with the rest of the cast in the format. They're all quite simple things, but they're things you're able to do through harnessing the actual attributes of the phone. Now, a key USP for mobile is location. But the only way to really leverage that key USP is to be able to serve creative in a local way. so that people feel that they're seeing messaging that's specific to them in their location. Now, you would have thought if you need to target 10,000 people, you need to create 10,000 different formats to be able to do that. We've created a piece of technology that's not complicated, that allows us to serve dynamically geographical targeted ads to specific people by just understanding where they're located and then serving a creative specific to that. And that's another example of, this is something that it took a long time to try and do something like that on desktops, but we can do that in retargeting now. With mobile, we've been able to develop kit much quicker to be able to achieve that. Another thing that mobile is able to do is to turn a kind of relatively straightforward 2D old piece of marketing communication on an old-fashioned medium into something that's much more interactive and much more of a content experience. So I've got a little example of augmented reality where that's done quite nicely. So this is Skoda's, and this isn't a sales pattern for Mediacom, sorry, but Skoda is also a client of ours, and they were celebrating a 2-litre car that they managed to get driving at 227 miles per hour along a flat plane. They only did this as a PR stunt, but it ended up being very, very successful, so they're thinking about it a lot more for next year. Another thing is dual screen. Now, there's all sorts of different dual screen at the moment. Shazam is something that's come to the fore recently with what they're doing with TV content. And I think dual screen is a real opportunity to turn one-way communication into something really immersive. And Shazam is one example. I'll talk about another one that I think is really, really interesting and will dictate the future in a minute.
Get more exclusive POV videos when you see the Shazam button.
So another piece of technology that's come to the fore recently, a company that we've just done a deal with, is a company called Monte Rosa. I don't know if any of you have heard of it, but they enable, I don't know if you know, £1 Million Drop, which is where people watch the program and then they're able to, they do something on their tablet and then the results go through to the TV program. And what that allows you to do is have a two-way dialogue between TV and your tablet. The deal we've done with them allows us to serve TV advertising to people. If they respond to that on their tablet through this technology, the next time they see an ad from us, they'll see a different creative based on how they've responded online. So it's behavioural targeted and retargeting on TV in the way that we have done in online, and it's tablets that allow that. So I'm struggling with the... mobile can also accelerate the purchase journey. So NFC has been mentioned earlier, near-field communications. NFC chips are going into smartphones every day. I think it's about 1 million chips are going in on a weekly basis to mobile phones. And NFC is going to enable people to purchase very soon. It's not doing it at the moment, but it's something that will be enabled soon in mobile phones. So it's an incredibly exciting opportunity because it creates the point of purchase in a straightforward advertising medium. Dual screen integration. Another example of how it takes you through to purchase is with ZBox. So this is a very small example of something that we did with a music client of ours, Universal, which was an integration through Comic Sport Relief, where people would be able to go through to the ZBox page and then buy a song that they'd heard in the program. So there's all sorts of opportunities like that coming up through dual screen companies like ZBox as well. So lots of things happening at once that relate old style traditional media to new media in mobile. I think one size doesn't fit all, and it's important to understand that there are certain rules of thumb already where certain channels work better with other pieces of technology. So TV works very well with ZBox. Out of home works very well with NFC. Not a very good idea to try and do. To try and get people using the mobile phone to cross-track on the tube. because you're basically asking them to risk their lives to interact with you as a brand, which is a very smart move. Radio and TV obviously work very well with Shazam, so common sense. Now, I said at the beginning of the presentation it's very important to start with a business challenge or a marketing challenge or a consumer need. It's also very important to be trying new things, because you try new things with consumers now, you will change behaviour and you'll normalise them in the future. And I think NFC is a very good example of that, because soon people will be purchasing a lot through that now. If you as advertisers start getting them to change their behaviour now, the normalisation process will be much easier further down the line. Anyway, that's a whistle-stop tour from me. Thanks very much.
firsttuesday.org.uk. Don't network, be the network.